Um, so this is actually how the Norwegian police actually pushing me to suicide. Now let me tell you something. They just not pushing me to suicide. They actually pushing me to the murder or suicide. You know, they pushing me to one of these two, like so hard at the moment. You see, I have been for 3 days. I'm being tortured from the moment I wake up to the moment I sleep. You know, for 3 days straight. Now after the 3 days straight torture, you know, it's more like, you know, anger, 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 anger. Then attack me with an infrasound torture, where I just hear something, you know, just pressed in my brain. That's one thing. The other thing is, let me talk about two more things. You know, today I was at the bus. I was riding the bus. I was sitting and there was this guy behind me, and this guy started to touch me sexually, in my ass, basically, you know, with his legs, you know. Of course, this is like a normal encounter, but when this happened in Norway, you know, this protocol follows me, the sexual harassment from Norway to here. Well, that's not coincidence, you know. So the guy did that. I just got angry at him, you know, because why would you touch me with your legs? And so, oh, I'm sorry, I just didn't mean that, you know. And still, I can control my anger at some point, so that I just, you know, let the guy, you know. So that's one thing that happened. The other thing is, actually, this is the main issue here, you know. Now, if I'm a visitor here in Mauritius, you see, I don't like the country. I fucking hate to be in here, you know, out of the Norwegian police torture and their cooperation with the Norwegian police, you know. So I just don't want to stay here. I just want to leave the country, you know. But of course I can't, because they closed the airport, so I cannot leave the country, you know. Anyways, when they torture me, they don't want me to go to a doctor, tell him what I'm being exposed to, you know. So every time I try to go to a doctor or something, the police always try to send somebody to tell me that you don't have any right in here. So actually, the police want to send me a message that they have the right to torture me since I'm here, but I do not have the right to, you know, ask for my own rights, you know, to not be tortured, or just go report the police, or do this or do that, you know. They're treating me as yeah, maybe I'm unwelcome in here, you know. I don't give a fuck if I'm welcomed in this country or fucking not, but I don't want to be tortured. And at the moment, I do have to stay in this fucking country. You know, it's not by choice. If the airport is open, I would have just taken the first flight, but they closed the airport. So, well, if I'm unwelcomed, I don't give a fuck, basically. But their cooperation with the Norwegian police, and denying me the medical help that I need, and denying me protection, and denying me all of that, well, that's something else, you know. So I'm basically in the middle of a ritual abuse, where I cannot travel back to Norway because of the police harassment. I cannot be with my own family because of the police torture and harassment. I cannot travel back to Egypt because, again, the Egyptian police torture and harassment under the fucking Norwegian police, direction. So they torture me mentally and physically too in Egypt, which I have tried before. I cannot stay here as well. So that leaves me with 2 or 3 options, which is Iran, Russia, or North Korea. Now, you see, there's this coronavirus at the moment, you know, and I would be ending up in one of these countries, you know, one of those countries, because these are the countries that actually is hated by the Norwegian government, and the Iranian or the Russian, they hate the Norwegians too, you know. So it's equal hate from both sides, you know. So if I'm a dissonant, or, you know, somebody who the Norwegian government don't want in this world, they have decided that they just don't want me in this world, you know, basically, because every country if I travel to, they torture and harass me. Well, then I'm just, you know, not welcomed in the whole world, and the Norwegian police suddenly can decide who can live and who can die, you know. But anyways, so I would be in one of those countries. Now let me tell you something. I did report to the United Nations, you know, There is a case, or there is I did report, and I did have I sent an email to this person called Nils Mölzer, and he received my own email, you know, and he replied to it, you know, said that I have to report officially to the United Nations by their email, and I did that, you know. So that, look, I would be ending up in one of those countries, you know. If something happened to me, which I expect, because it looks like, you know, just I'm not convinced that they just will let me off the hook, you know, that easily. You know, they I don't know. This might go for years, and it actually led people before to suicide and death. You know, so. And it could lead to that, because I don't want to travel to Iran or any place like that, but I have to, you know, since I'm being tortured and there's no other country in the world that's willing to give protection, you know. So, yeah. So if something happened to me, well, you know, I make sure that, you know, everybody knows who am I, you know, like my identity. Before, if something happened, or if something is going to happen soon, you know, so that I will let everybody knows who I'm in conflict with, and who is and the details of everything, you know, and yeah. So we will see if I get the fucking coronavirus or whatever the fuck that is, and something happened to me. Well, I just want the world to know that it was the Norwegian police, or to be honest, or to be specific, I'm talking about the Oslo organized crime unit, you know, because those are the ones who torture people. Not the normal police, not, you know, it's not like that. It's Oslo organized crime unit. So they are the one who is responsible for murdering a lot of people before too, because that's what's written on the internet. But I don't know how did I come under the how did I been placed on Oslo organized crime unit list. I just don't know how to, because during all my life I had not I wish I could have been a member of the mafia or fucking some shit, so that, you know, the at least I would be feeling like okay being tortured, you know. But I never been involved in any organized crime or anything like that. So I'm an engineer, for fuck's sake. Oh, educated as an engineer, for fuck's sake. What a fucking waste of my life and time and money. But anyways, so yeah, for those who follow me, well, it's 12 person. Well, if something happened, just I will let everybody knows who am I, and the details and everything, you know, because this doesn't look good. This situation doesn't look good. For the harassment that I'm receiving every single day, it doesn't look good. It looks like they actually pushing me to it. So yeah, I just want everybody to know that it's the Norwegian police and its organized crime unit that's responsible for this. And yeah, if something happened to me, well, I hope they will get the 20 years that, you know, that is what's written in the Norwegian law, you know. So we will see what will happen in the future, though. Hopefully nothing bad will be happening, but if something happened, well, I have to make it public, and I have to, you know, push harder than I pushed before then. You know, because anyway, it doesn't look like I do have much to lose anyways at the moment. So yeah, so we will see what will happen in the future.